Good afternoon, friends. Today we shall be speaking on yet another important topic called reference checks. Now, contacting your previous employer, a job applicant to determine his or her job history. My friend, reference check may also include checking with schools, colleges attended by the applicant to verify educational qualification, even getting references from your top job candidates from former employee isn't as simple as it used to be, because managers know that revealing too much or too little can have legal consequences. They are increasingly wary of what and how much they say about past employees and their work histories. Some companies have been sued for not disclosing enough information about former workers, while others have been paid enormous settlements because they provided a negative job reference, whether true or false. Because of these difficulties, my friends, rushing through the process of checking references or bypassing it altogether in order to quickly staff a position may be tempting to hiring managers, especially those in danger of losing top candidates to competing firms. But even in a competitive candidate, getting reliable information from a job seeker from superior is an important step to take before bringing someone on board. There are certain pieces of advices on handling the frequently difficult process of checking references, which I am going to discuss with you here. Firstly, let the candidate know you check references. Don't ever delegate checking references to somebody else. It loses authenticity. There you leave a scope for misconstruation. First, start with the candidate's response, asking candidate in the job interview what their former employers are likely to say about them can provide you with a good starting point for your reference checks. Your question will vary depending on the requirement of the open position and what you discussed in your interview. But here you can ask certain questions like, what were the candidate's primary responsibility in your organization when he was working with you? What are the most impressive skill or qualities you have noticed? What was their first most significant accomplishment in your institution? What additional training could they benefit from you? How did they respond to constructive criticism? Whenever that employee was apprised of his shortcomings or negative, let's think, what was his response? What are the exact weaknesses what you have noticed? Is there anything else you want to suggest? All these kinds of questions comes to mind when you do reference checks of your employee before hiring. Then there's certain additionally, when seeking feedback from your top candidates, former employees, be on alert for the few warning signs or signals too. Negative feedback. It should go without saying that if a reference does not provide a strong assessment of a candidate, you should consider that there is some red flag. But don't stop there. Ask probing questions to discover why you may come to suspect. Don't call this one. If a candidate submits references and then hints that you should not get in touch with certain people in the list, that's a very bad sign. Likewise, if you try to connect with references only to discover what you have been giving a wrong phone number, the writing may be on the wall that something is amiss and suspicion increases. Just the fact references. Some employees may supply factual and references only. That is just confirming the name, job title and date of employment. This could indicate a less than satisfactory work history. Or you may simply be dealing with an employer whose policies don't allow further elaboration. Inconsistencies, if any. If it is a point during this reference check, a former employee tells you something that doesn't align with what the candidate has indicated in their resume or come up in light during the interview, that should set off the warning bells. Ask the reference a few more direct questions to make sure that you aren't misinterpreting the response. Depending on the extent of discrepancies, you may want the candidate have an opportunity to explain. Excessively glowing references, again, if the feedback you receive sounds a little too good to be true, it might be honest reference with candidly share their strengths and weaknesses. Despite the work involved, my friend, you shouldn't shy away from conducting a reference checks if you want a good employee for your organization. The more time and attention you put into vetting candidate upfront, the better your chances of making a great time and a great hire. Avoid a bad one and regret later. My friends, this was one part. Another, when your employee is leaving and you are making a reference checks for him or her, that requires a little bit of a different set of things. Firstly, foremost, keep what is your company's policy. Establish a clear policy on references. This will minimize the chances of litigation and keep your job safe. Notify the HR department about references requests. You should have a consent form. Insist on a signed release from the former employee that authorizes the employment's information. Provides immunity from all claims of information provided in accurate. The information provided is accurate and is in good faith. It should be made in a more professional manner. Stick to factual, unbiased and accurate evaluation limited to the work-related aspects only. Never offer judgmental opinions, subjective ideas of misleading, incomplete information. You must restrict yourself to areas where you had direct contact with the subordinate and not on just hearsay. If asked specifically, comment on his performance, attendance, the conduct and reasons for termination. Never comment on your own. It should be supported by factual data. Refrain from rating his characteristics on a scale of predicting his success or failure in the new job. Never do that. No discriminatory issues at all. Discussing age, religion, race, marital status or disability is asking for trouble straight away. Exercise caution when you prepare a reference check. Giving a reference check for your outgoing employee. Disclose both positive and negative traits and not omit any information that is relevant to his suitability for employment. As a rule, only answer questions that you feel comfortable with. You can decline with a simple "I would rather not comment," or at best concede to confirm the bare minimum requirement. My friends, reference check is a very important thing to get the best employee in your institution. Take care. Thank you.